be attempt to double the effect. If you roll over 10, if you roll, I should say, if you roll 11 or higher, the ability is successfully doubled. If you roll 10 or less, if you fail the roll, however, you take 3 dinks. Is 3 dinks enough to double down? I think you take 5 dinks. This ability may be used at any time. Attempt to double the effect of any... I could rewrite this to make more sense. I don't even need this part. I can just say if you fail the roll. I wrote, assuming this is both possible and makes some sense for a reason. Because if you double down something that doesn't make fucking sense, then it just doesn't do anything. And you fail. Can you take enemy abilities with borrow? I would say no, because none of the enemies use an ability that is written down for players to borrow. Double down borrow would let you do 2 borrows. I mean, you do 2 abilities at once, I guess. If you were to borrow double down, then you would take 6 drinks, and that's all that would happen. No, you would take 1 drink to use the borrow. Then you need to take 3. No. It's 3 base. 3 base, the double, yeah, 6. If you were to borrow double down, all you would do is take 6 drinks. It's completely pointless. Can you double down a boss's ability? I think so. Can you borrow boss abilities? No, because they're not written down. That's the thing. Like, you can't borrow boss ability because you don't know what the ability actually is. Because there's going to be no card or ability that says the dragon does breeze fire. That's just something the dragon does. In this world, an ability basically means something a player has in the form of a card in a tabletop simulator. Can you double down a double down and drink 10? No, because... No, you can't, because that would be a triple down. That doesn't make sense. You can't double down a double down. That's where the makes some sense. You can't double down a double down. That'd be a quadruple down. And the bard doesn't have that ability. That's a different class. That is quadruple down. So, let's see if this would actually be useful. If you double down blockade, it doesn't do anything. If you double down charge, it doubles the damage of the charge. If you double down whirlwind, you can let the player move twice and deal 1 damage. If you double down chivalry, you let them double down more spaces. It just doubles the numbers, right? That's what we're really doing. Is this fun? This feels like it's supposed to be fun, but it's not. This is getting into the realm of too complicated for a drinking game. I'm very sad. I'll make it more simple. We'll be getting some more lords soon. When, when and make it soon. I really miss. Oh, lords cartoons. Yeah, I'll be scheduling some tonight. Roll a die. If you succeed, double the damage of an attack currently being used. If you fail, take 2 dinks. This ability can be used at any time. Yeah, I think that's fine. Fun interactions with Bard's own abilities. Yes, I agree. Call it power chord. Is that not how you spell chord? Really? Really? You don't spell chord with this H? Yeah. What the fuck? Time will the stream be tomorrow? Night, probably. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to talk to the guys. Oh, it just thinks I want to spell power chord. Yeah, that's right. Let's do slingshot. Change that up. Is there an ability that gives +1 to rolls? No, because I try to avoid math as much as possible. I also try to avoid buff effects. In that way, Blessing of Strength is kind of me forgetting about that. But I typically try to avoid doing buff effects in a game like this because the problem is once you have too many or even a few, players will forget they're in play. Even with something that's a good reminder, it's very easy to forget about a buff effect. They just don't really work in video games or in pen and paper. I really think with pen and paper, what you want is you want abilities that will accent a character and not, this is the 5 things you're going to do every turn. Well, I'm only letting them pick 3. These are the 3 things. I have to make it very clear to players that they're able to do anything, which I will attempt to do in the first 1 or 2 rooms of the dungeon they go in. And then use these abilities as just things they can accent their ability or their class. Not that they use them as a crutch, I guess. Like, what I don't want is I don't want combat to start, and the first thing the paladin does is use Blessing of Strength. And the next turn he does is use Unholy Water. And the next thing he does is he uses Honor Chains. And then just spams his hammer for 3 turns. That's what I don't want. I need to make sure I create situations where they don't really want to use these abilities. No, I don't plan on saving my live stream. Like I've said, is streams like this, like drinking streams, are really only funny if you are participating in the drinking as well. I don't really see them as fun YouTube content. So, it doesn't even have anything to do with the kid viewer base. I'm an adult channel. I don't care about that. It more so has to do with it's drunk humor. And it's funny if you're also participating in the drinking. It's also funny because it's live. So when you remove the fact that it's no longer live and you're also not drinking with the people you're watching, it's not very good content in my personal opinion. So, and I don't put good content, or I try not to put content I don't really think is good on my channel. Like me and Deadbones more recently played Star Trek, and I bet you could argue and you'd be like, "Oh, Rob, this is really funny. This was really funny put on YouTube." But I don't think it necessarily speaks well of me for throwing up content. To be honest, pretty much anyone is kind of funny when they're drinking because you're just a bumbling idiot, and that's fantastic, but I'm not necessarily trying to do content that is just me being a bumbling idiot. So, you guys are distracting me though. Hmm. The thing is, the Bard's class is already complete with the Borrow ability. The Borrow ability already really echoes what I would want the Bard to do, which is anything. Double Down already fills the niche of giving the person something they can do at any time if they want, at the cost that they gotta drink. Just say 2 more dinks, because it costs 1 to just use an ability, right? So failing would be 3 drinks total. I don't really think bards should have a charming or seduction ability. It's not really what I know bards for. I think of a bard as a master of all skills, or rather, not a master of all skills. God, what's... He's a master of none. Bard, something, something, master of none. How is this term a phrase? Jack of all trades, master of none. I think of a bard of a jack of all trades, master of none. We put lullaby in because, you know, bards are musical. It lets the person being at the bard at the table sing. But Borrow and Double Down really just let them basically manipulate the game the way I already want them to do. So I kind of have to think of just a couple other things. Like, I don't think you can not pick these 2 abilities. Like, you could not pick Double Down if you just didn't care. But you kind of, there's no situation in which I could not see you not picking Borrow. Unless you were just the type of player where you're like, I don't want this many options. Give me less buttons. But honestly, like if Ko ended up joining us, he would want to play the Bard because he's that type of guy. Uh, um, this might be usable. I might need to reword this. Disguise. Change the voice of your character. If the table finds your new voice believable, you may take on the shape of any creature or race until... Why I say in combat? Until you stop doing the voice. In which case, the magic breaks. How? What is wrong with... That's breaks? That's Brax. What the fuck? That's more of a thief, not a bard. Bard is a thief. Okay. No, a bard very much is a thief. Bards and thieves are very, very close niche. They both have a certain level of charisma to them. I would say, if anything, I would say a disguise is much more a bard ability than a thief, because a thief doesn't necessarily turn on a disguise to trick people. That's a bard. A bard pretends to be someone else to fool someone. That's a certain level of charisma. So no, I would say in this case, this is much more a bard type ability than a thief. And also to that note, there is no thief class! Do you see thief? Have we ever had thief? Is this a pirate king ability? Do you think I should reserve this in case we do pirate king? For fuck's sake. It's a thief ability. Alright. One more. Bards and thieves typically, though, share very similar motives. Um, so, like, I would put a bard and a thief together. They would have the same type of ideologies. Where a thief would sneak in, a bard would trick his way into. But they would both be trying to steal the treasure chests of the late Count Bonsberry during a royal gala. Just their methods are slightly different. Why do you roll a die in the background? Helps me think. I was one of those kids who would always be like playing with something. If you leave me at a table in a restaurant with nothing to do, I will take my knife and fork and start. What does a bar do? Disguise, borrow, double down. When does Zeldathon end? When does Zeldathon end, guys? Uh, you know what I'm gonna do? If anyone who's not is just sitting at this table but isn't playing, I'm gonna make him donate $1 to Zeldathon. Is Zeldathon going through the New Year's? Does Zeldathon go through the New Year's? Do they do that? If they do that, that's what I'm doing. Anyone who wants to, so if like Nessivan wants to play, he can play. He just has to donate money. He has like 4 more days. All right, good. I'm gonna like tell Nessivan you can play and you don't have to drink. You just have to donate $1 every single time you take damage. They'll be sick of him. And like he'll have to say the description every single time. I was hit by an ogre. $1. I'd do that anyway. Just gonna give someone like $300 and be like, every time someone takes damage, donate MC $1 and inform him. Deadbolts got hit by a sheep. $1. Oh, that's funny. That's if you pick the elf race in this game. If you decide to play as an elf, you don't drink. Instead, you just give away $1. Dude, this isn't even a time zone mill we can play at. Deadbones lives on a crazy schedule, but you gotta remember that, like at midnight East Coast is 6 a.m. for like Spain, where Deadbones lives. I need one more Bard ability to finish off this class. I think I need something offensive too, but Double Down already acts as an offensive ability. Like, you can Double Down Slingshot if you want. Right? So I already have an offensive ability. Would letting someone be a Dungeon Master be too much? I think it is. I'm not sure who's going to be playing, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a full table anyway. So, I'm not too worried. So, Disguise and Lullaby are already really fun abilities for the table. Borrow's already really silly. Double Down's already really good. Pickpocket. Alright, now we're getting, that's that's definitely a thief ability. I defended Bard on disguising, but I can't defend Bard on pickpocket. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but spamming a copy and paste message in Twitch chat doesn't actually get my attention. Because most of the times I read what you said, I just don't acknowledge it. Hmm. No, we don't want to manipulate dice. We already kind of started doing that, and then I just scrapped it. I think if you manipulate the dice, it'll make the game less fun. Like, you don't want to do something and say the whole table is set. Like, the whole table is now going to act with this dice. Okay. I got one. Alright, cheers. Everyone at the table drinks. For the next round of combat, players do not take drinks when taking damage. Do not have to drink when taking damage. I think this is a good one. Guys, you guys keep correcting it. First off, it's only dink when you have to take a dink. But if I'm actually talking about the concept